Doom 2 is just such a bigger, badder, better version of Doom. A lot of people out there waiting for it, for sure. This is pretty much more popular than football.
Once you start playing, you're hooked.
We have a lot of people asking what to expect in Doom 2, when's it going to come out, where is it going to be, where can they buy the game.
We knew it was going to be a monster hit. When the people from GT Interactive Software sat us down and gave us a clue as to what kind of numbers Doom 2 was doing in pre-orders, we all hit the floor. We couldn't believe it. It's phenomenal.
A lot of the retailers are getting demand for Doom already, so they know that when Doom 2 comes out, they're going to be able to sell a lot of product.
I've always stated that Doom 2, when people ask me to describe it, I say it's bigger, badder, and better than Doom. The levels will be more expansive, more fine-tuned for multiplayer play. The level designer's expertise in designing levels will show through because they've learned a lot from the creation of Doom 1, or Doom, and their level of expertise will show through in Doom 2. The new weapons, although at this point we haven't settled in on exactly what those weapons will be, but there will be new weapons, new bad guys. Again, bigger, badder, and better than Doom.
The graphics are a lot better, and it's not too Nintendo-ish.
But it's great. The graphics are incredible.
I'm excited about every level now.
But after looking at numbers all day, this would probably be a healthy release of tension.
It's different every time you play.
This is fun. I want a copy of this to take home.
When you hear the word, what is the first-person shooter you ever played? Most people would say Doom.
I love the game. If I don't stop playing it, my wife is going to kill me.
You're in this dark, nasty place? Pretty disgusting.
Now on 32X.
It makes me sweat.
Welcome to the world of Doom. A hellish nightmare for the more real, the more intense world of Genesis 32X.
It takes my mind off work.
Just one of the astounding new games for the machine 6 times more powerful than 3DO.
Today you've got state-of-the-art graphics in first-person shooters. That item listed at the bottom left, that some people say Doom, is the catalyst that started. But really Doom has been termed inarguably the most important in first-person shooter. The real start of the first-person shooter is Wolfenstein 3D. There's also Hovertank that started the build of Volve 3D. And if you really want to go back, there's Maze War from 1973 on IMLAC PDS ones at the NASA Holmes Research Center in California.
id Software, a video game developer based in Richardson, Texas, was founded in February 1st, 1991 by 4 members of the computer company: John Carmack, John Romero, game designer Tom Hall, and artist Adrian Carmack. These guys were the living legends that laid down the foundation of the first-person shooter genre. Without them, we wouldn't even have Team Fortress 2, Crysis, Left 4 Dead, and so forth.
Doom has a story much different than Wolfenstein, where you start off as a prisoner much like before the Elder Scrolls series, to eliminate Adolf Hitler. But here is quite different. The story goes that you are a space marine who was assigned to Mars City as a Union Aerospace Corporation security after assaulting a superior commanding officer to shoot civilians on site in Afghanistan. Slowly wondering, when danger comes calling, you get an emergency SOS from the moon of Phobos that something evil is coming out of the gateway. Mars' second moon divers somehow vanished from the sky. Since then, attempts to establish contact with either moon have been unsuccessful. The 4 of you went to the moon of Phobos to see what on Mars is going on, only to be given order to secure the perimeter of the base, while the rest went inside. For several hours, your radio picked up the sounds of combat happening inside, and then silence. Looks like your comrades are killed by an unknown force in Phobos Moon Base. As you walk through the main entrance of the base, you hear animal-like growls echoing throughout the distant corridors. They know you are here, and there is no turning back now.
Which is wild and interesting backstory, only it's in the manual. Years ago, as a kid, I saw my dad and my uncle play this game, and they were dropped immediately into the game with no backstory, nothing, other than one simple thing: lay waste to possessed soldiers and demons and find the exit. At first I thought they were overrun by demon worshippers, only to come find out that the demons were coming out of the teleporter known as the Gateway. A gateway that is actually between Phobos and Deimos, between two moons on Mars' solar system. Scientific researchers at the UAC, known as the Union Aerospace Corporation, thought it'd be an efficient way to travel between two research facilities without the use of the ship, but at the cost of unleashing demonic forces that's coming out of the gateway whenever they send volunteers in. So that's basically the full scope of the story, is that you're cutting connections between Hell and the moon of Phobos.
Everyone's dead but me. They can't kill me. Gotta stay smart. They're not gonna win.
Doom has gained a massive popularity in 1993. The people wanted a port version for the home console. 32X, and Atari Jaguar in 1994, Super Nintendo and PlayStation in 1995, 3DO in 1996, Sega Saturn in 1997, Acorn RISC PC in 1998, Game Boy Advance in 2001, Xbox 360 in 2006, iOS in 2009, and Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Android in 2019.
Holy shit!
Which is pretty goddamn impressive, I have to say, despite the fact that I didn't even know it was ported to many other consoles, that it became a running meme of, can it run Doom? And it runs Doom. Hell, even Chex has a family-friendly Doom version called Chex Quest. Instead of shotgunning demons to death, you're zapping these creatures known as the Flimmoids back to whatever dimension they crawled out of. Yeah, I can't even believe it either, but it's actually quite good. Even has 2 sequels.
There's even Doom 64, which turned out to be the true Doom 3 sequel before Doom 3 on Xbox 360 and PC. It was absolutely wild and mind blown back all the 90s of those times.
I can sit here and talk about Doom all day and night, just about its lore from the original, its sequel, Doom 3, Doom 64, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and also the newer game that I hear recently, Doom the Dark Ages. The whole video would be nothing but me just talking about the Doom lore and everything else, which that will be another time if I find the right moment. So instead, let's just talk about the Doom mod and the Doom custom story community that started it all, which is Doom 2. According to the reviews and sales, Doom 2 went on to sell 2 million copies, making it the highest selling id Software until it was eventually passed up by Rage in 2012. There was praise for its many new and varied enemies and its non-innovative map design, which aimed to be more non-linear than its predecessor. It also introduced the FPS multiplayer world to Map 1 entry, which is regarded as one of the best deathmatch maps ever published, although some argue that Map 7, Dead Simple, Doom 2, would hold the title of best deathmatch level. I also forgot to mention that Bill Gates is also promoting Doom as well. Yes, Bill fucking Gates of Microsoft is promoting Doom. Holy shit.
Final Doom is a compilation of 2 standalone episodes, TNT, Evolution and the Plutonia Experiment, which include full sets of new levels. Both of them use the same level structure as Doom 2 with 30 regular levels, and 2 secret levels, new graphics and textures, and new text interlude screens, in addition to most of the resources from Doom 2, and some from Doom. TNT, Evolution contains a mostly new soundtrack, while the Plutonia Experiment uses music from Doom and Doom to Hell on Earth. It was released on June 17, 1996, by id Software under the initiative of John Romero and developed by members of the fan community belonging to Team TNT. And this, my friends, are the Doomwoods, aka the mod-like custom stories for the Doom community on PC.
I know what most people are thinking. What the hell is a Doom WAD? Well, allow me to explain what it is with the game in the background. Doom WAD is a default format of package files for the video game Doom and its sequel Doom 2 Hell on Earth that contains sprites, levels, and game data. WAD stands for Where All the Data. Immediately after its release in 1993, Doom attracted a sizable following of players who created their own mods for the WAD files, packages containing new levels or graphics, and played a vital part in spawning the mod-making culture, which is now commonplace for first-person shooter games. Thousands of WADs have been created for Doom, ranging from single custom levels to full original games. Most of these can be freely downloaded over the internet. Several WADs have also been released commercially, and for some people, the WAD making hobby became a gateway to a professional career as a level designer. There are two types of WADs, iWADs, which is eternal WADs, and PWADs, which is patch WADs. iWADs contain the data necessary to load the game, while the PWADs contain additional data such as new character sprites and necessary for the custom levels.
Today you've got new custom stories and mods that are new, some of which are more non-Euclidean, and some of which are more mindfuckery than previous mods would combine, most notably myhouse.wad, a custom game mod that came out in March 3rd, 2023 by the username Veg in Doom World community.
First time hearing about it, I thought it was just your average run-of-the-mill Doom maps, just like any other normal Doom maps. But here, it hides something else under the hood. At first, it's nothing out of the ordinary, other than just killing the enemies, collecting keys, and find the exit. No big deal. That is until, of course, you discover the blue orb that's standing outside that wasn't there before. We'll come back for it in just about a minute.
The objects in the house being recreated in the Doom engine is mind-blowing. The technical term for this is called a Doomcute, an adjective applied to real-life objects recreated in the Doom engine, usually in highly simplified form. The term is invented by Kanzexi, an American reviewer and handle for the author of One Man Doom WAD Reviews, a blog focused on discussing WADs for Doom and games related to the Doom engine. A member of the Doom World community, he was a contributing writer for the Cacawads from 2012 to 2017.
Which is wild to see everyday objects being rendered on the Doom engine. After collecting the final key, we could leave, or we could just get that blue sphere that was outside just moments ago. Wait a minute. Where did it go? It was just sitting on this thing just moments ago.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Alright, seriously, you wankers, what the fuck is going on? How in the world did the enemies respawn? And wait a minute, there's windows? What the fuck? The door is too clean to be a Doom mod. Well, the layout is still the same. Wait a minute. Why is the animation smooth? This can't be right. Okay, I am definitely convinced that this is not right. Cause originally it was a PlayStation. Now it's an Xbox Series X. The keycards are now skull keys that can only be found in hell-themed levels. The mirrors now have reflections, which in the previous house doesn't have reflections. The camera angle at the front entrance has that liminal space vibe. You know, the ones that are actually on the internet. It's as if the game itself has this uncanniness to it, like it has that uncanny valley feel. There'll be more like this later.
It mostly certainly seems Mr. Veg or Steve Nelson, his real name on the Doom World, and Doom Wiki is a fan of either the Backrooms and Silent Hill mixed with House of Leaves. A non-Euclidean-like book that reads of like a fiction to encyclopedia, and some form of documentation.
Which is pretty goddamn impressive, I have to say, for the mod author. It's as if he did this so casually, like he did this before, somehow. The project was originally created by Tom, a friend of Steve Nelson, who had passed away somehow, according to the Doom forum. According to Steve Nelson in the forums, he said that he found a copy of an old map of his up on a 3.5 floppy from high school, Thomas's own home. He said that he wanted to make some clean edit and modifications for the map itself just to get it ready for download as a paying tribute to his dearly departed friend of his. So that's basically what's going on here, but it doesn't even explain about any of this.
Maybe Steve Nelson did it to mindfuck the players. Although his journal in the download files for My House Dot would say it's a different story. According to him, he had recurring dreams about his friend playing in the basement before the house fire started, unknown creatures growling in the distance after he escaped from the fire. Or how about the bathtub dream, where he sinks inside and fell inside of a cave of some kind, where a creature is chasing after him.
The journals and questions are clues in order to traverse the levels itself. Take, for example, the house fire that is being crossed out in the journal. That is the wrong way to go in order to traverse the level. Now, I don't want to spoil it too much, but just download it on GZ Doom and give it a whirl.
Before we end the video, there's another mod that was made in 1994 in the weeks after Doom to Hell on Earth. Aliens Total Conversion, or TC for short. It was developed by Mr. Justin Fisher.
Now who's that?
He's the author for Aliens to See, the first total conversion mod for Doom, the term possibly being coined by Mr. Fisher himself. He's notable as the author of one of the few Doom modifications to gain widespread recognition in mainstream media and gaming press. Due to the success of Aliens to See, Mr. Fisher was offered jobs by several game development studios, which he declined to finish his then ongoing education.
And as he should. What do we know about Alien TC?
Aliens TC was the first total conversion, and is one of the most famous. In the week following the release of Doom 2, there was more discussion in the Doom newsgroup related to Aliens TC than to Doom 2. The popularity of the TC even reached outside the Doom community, for instance providing inspiration for the 1998 DreamWorks game Jurassic Park Trespasser. The mod was one of the 10 1994 mods to feature in the top 100 mods of all time on Doom World. As stated before, Mr. Fisher was offered employment by various game developers, including DreamWorks, for the team that would later make Trespasser, but again declined in order to finish his university degree.
Which is pretty fucking impressive, I have to say. What do we know about the story?
The locations in the main levels E to M1, E to M8 correspond more or less to the plot progression of the film, although it is not clear whether the large-scale geography is intended as faithful reproduction. Players familiar with the film will immediately notice certain landmarks, such as entering the installation via completely deserted corridors and noticing one or two holes etched through the floor, finding an overgrown area with human victims embedded in the walls, sealing thick doors to stop pursuing aliens, then escaping by crawling through a long pipe, being locked in a medical lab as an alarm rings, aliens ambushing the protagonists by dropping through the ceiling, ascending a tall elevator to reach the landing platform, then having to go back down again, confronting the alien queen in the landing bay of the carrier.
Which is super impressive to the guy who actually, of course, made this total conversion mod. A lot better than Aliens fucking Colonial Marines, all because of this fat donut didn't even check the code. This guy has the gall to say it's a 7 out of 10, even though the rating system says that 3.5 out of 10. Now, why'd you ask? Well, it's all because of this one fucking typo. I'm not gonna read it, but pause here if you want to read. But getting back to Aliens Total Conversion, I say this is a very good mod that I highly recommend. On that note, thank you all for watching. And remember, there is going to be a Q&A regarding of episode 4 and 5, which will be released next week. So be on the lookout for that. And as always...
And it's time to say goodbye to all of you. But I'll be seeing you again very soon. Goodbye.